Welcome, everybody, to the Straub Bros Sports Show. We are running a tad bit late if you are live with us because we were, wait, the final whistle of the Straub Bros Inner Brother Challenge, aka Manchester United versus Chelsea. If you were watching the game, which we're gonna have some people trickling in here late. Cole Palmer hat trick. Cole Palmer at the death. Um, wow, bro. I thought we were gonna come on here with a neutral. Chelsea went up to. Okay. We can. Let's take a break here. Welcome again to the Straub Bros Sports Show. Like I said, running late because of the Manchester United Chelsea game. However, we are here with you. Welcome, as you are finding us here on the 216 Sports Network Facebook page. Follow us and like us there. The YouTube page, like and subscribe there as well. Where you can find everyone else. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. The Jay Rich Show. The Ruler's Minute with Rico McGee. Outside Interference. And the Straub Bros Sports Show. Straub Bros Sports Show. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS. You can find us on X, Twitter, at Straub Bros Sports. And you can find us on Spotify. Just search Straub Bro. And you can find us there. All our old shows. Catch up on anything that you have missed. And if you need to go back and recoup on something, maybe go criticize us for maybe making a mistake. But what a wild way to begin a show. We should have just done the live stream beginning there. That's the future pre-show Patreon will be us being able to watch the United game. But let's get to the news first, bro, because speaking of some footy, speaking of some soccer, we as a show have some soccer news. The Straub Bros Sports Show are now official sponsors of Akron FC. Yes. We will have some more posts. We will have some more details. You will stay tuned for that. You'll kind of see those pop up from Akron FC's page, and you will be then seeing them from all of our stuff. But there's also some cool stuff when you go to an Akron FC game now, and they played their home games at St. Vincent St. Mary Stadium. You will be able to take a photo along with our logo. Ooh, bless you, Straub. Bless you, Straub. You will be
hit that mute button just in time.
Yes, he did, but I still ratted him out. But you will be able to take a picture next to our logo. How awesome is that? Because I know I will be doing that. So that is something to look for. Congratulations. Absolutely. Thank you, Mom. And she's, of course, rocking with her favorite guys. Straub, I think you're doing something in the background because you're all lagging on me now. And she wanted to wish me an early birthday. I do appreciate that, Mama. Yes, my birthday is tomorrow.
I'll get you when it's time.
Listen, well, we don't. That's not what we're here for.
I'm doing full 16-year-old high school girl. I'm posting about it. I'm putting a slideshow together. Oh, we're gonna go fully out. Don't worry, on the Straub Bros Sports Show Twitter.
Oh, that is awesomely horrific sounding. But that also means I'm gonna cry. Yes, I'm gonna cries. I do not care. I guess we've never talked about that on the show, but we'll just get that out of the way. Don't care. Don't care. Yeah, do not care. Also, so yes, Straub Bros Sports Show, Akron FC collision course incoming. I am going to be speaking with the owner, and if he hears this, I apologize that we have not been able to sit down and speak yet. It has been crazy busy on our end. But we are going to be sitting down to kind of see what we will be going through, kind of bringing you on the show going forward. We've already talked about some segments, potentially doing some stuff. I will be at Akron FC home games, doing some interviews, bringing you some live and up close and personal coverage of Akron FC. I am extremely, extremely excited to be involved with this. Go on Instagram and follow Akron FC for us as well as yourself. Speaking of following, speaking of the show, speaking of partnerships with the show, Straub, I can't wait for this. This is awesome because you're going to hit the graphic for me. We have our first official sponsor. I don't want to call it that because that's not really what this is. This is a friend of the show because I'm not making money off of this. Straub's not making money off this. And my buddy Austin is not making money off this. But we're coming together. And that is my guy, Austin, the owner of the clothing apparel. Create Your Own Wave. They are now an official friend of the show. I know Austin personally. Yes, awesome. Thank you. You can follow them on Instagram at Create Your Own Wave 2021. If you follow the show on Instagram and Facebook, or I should say, if you follow me or Drew on Instagram or Facebook, you've seen these kind of posts come up because I've seen the stuff that Austin works on, and it is amazing stuff. I'm wearing, and this is exclusive. Straub, you have one. This is the first shirt that he ever made up. These don't exist anymore. You can't buy these anymore. These are mine. This is mine. And Straub has one too. I want to show off the back because the back means, don't ride the wave.
Oh, yeah.
The wave. Absolutely.
So good.
Cannot. I'm extremely excited. This has been a work in progress for a long time. So as you see on the board, on the bottom, it's coming along. Perfect timing. Create Your Own Wave apparel. Check them out on Instagram at Create Your Own Wave 2021. Boom. That could not have popped up at a better time. Whew. I'm going to completely kind of derail the show here for a second because our first bit of sports news that we're going to dive into is a bit of sad news, unfortunately. It happened earlier in the week, but Vontae Davis, a former NFL player, unfortunately passed away Monday at the age of 35. I'm going to do the same thing I kind of do here all of the time. Please go on social media, whichever one you use, and search out former teammates and what players who are now pundits and players who are now on TV have said about Vontae Davis. Go check out the Pat McAfee show. They had a good thing as well because Pat played with them. Just check out what they had, their thoughts. Our thoughts, prayers, condolences, positive vibes and thoughts to his family, teammates, and all of that. Everyone affected by that, honestly. And then I do want to get another little bit of news out of the way. A 2000 championship ring gifted from Kobe Bryant to his dad, Joe Jellybean Bryant, sold at an auction for $927,000. Glad to see those things kind of being able to move and money go to charity and things like that in terms of sports memorabilia. I own a lot of things. Well, not a lot of things. I own a couple of things personal to myself in terms of sports memorabilia. So that was good to see. And then some more not so great news. We got to touch on this Rashee Rice story, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It started off really, really weird because there was like no information on this whatsoever. But the more it's coming out, the more it seems like it's okay. But there was a big scare there for Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like there was some reckless driving and some crashing into people and then driving away. But so that wasn't our original to the beginning of the week because we, like everybody else, were like, what is going on? Unfortunately, the news is not all great this week other than our own personal show news. The Oakland A's, it has come down today that they will be playing in Sacramento from 2005 to 2027. And I wrote this down. A dumpster fire that is now also floating down a river of fiery garbage. This is just, it's awful. Dude. The whole situation is awful. The situation is awful for Oakland. I had a friend of mine, a coworker, a kid that I went to high school with, comment on my page and throw to me that it wasn't just the A's that are now leaving, and I had mentioned the Raiders, but the Warriors left as well. So it has been just an absolute mess on this Oakland story. And the worst part is about it, bro, Vegas isn't even 100% sure that they even can figure this team out and get a venue. It is an absolute mess. Am I wrong? And it's two people who love baseball and have grown up with the A's. This is just awful.
Yeah, no, I feel for Oakland so much considering, being a Cleveland fan, obviously not during the time that Cleveland left, the Browns left to Baltimore, but I know the pain that our father and other family members felt when they left. So to lose one team was bad, but losing all three teams, no sports whatsoever, it's got to be devastating. Just absolutely just awful. And now that when you look on it now, obviously Las Vegas doesn't know the specifics of it, so they have to wait until 2028 to even have their team in Las Vegas. And the Oakland put a contract offer out for the A's to stay until they left for Vegas. And the A's said, no, we're going to go to Sacramento instead. So they're not even going to stay the entire time, which just sinks the dagger even deeper into Oakland fans, as they have now lost all of their sports teams within a span of 5 years. Just awful stuff here.
Yeah, it's awful. I like Nick's comment. Excuse me. That's why it's up there. Fine already on me. Prayers to Oakland, but damn. I mean, but here's the problem. And I understand what everybody's saying here, but you're using the state. And I understand that to use the state, the whole state of California. What did Oakland do? Oakland is in LA. Oakland is at the state. Poor Oakland, while all the other California teams are there. Poor Oakland's getting them ripped all away from them.
And this is the big problem, is like, we see this as obviously a money move, because Vegas is going to generate more money, stuff like that. But everyone, I guess, fails to just think about, when you think about those die-hard fan bases in sports, they are the Oakland Raiders. That is one of the most passionate fan bases of all time. You have the Oakland A's in the 90s and early 2000s during, the Rickey Henderson and the Moneyball era. And then when you have the Warriors, those comeback Warriors from the early 2000s with Baron Davis was one of the most electric fan bases, and still are, right before they left for San Francisco. You were losing the heart of some fan bases for revenue, and it bothers the hell out of me.
Right.
I don't know what Oakland did to Vegas.
I was gonna say, man,
they
Oakland,
existed. They existed. That's it.
Oakland, don't ghost like that. Like if you go ghost on somebody like that, this is what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we knew Vegas was going to get a team for money, but to have three of their sports get taken from Oakland and not maybe some other teams, it sucks. And this is honestly a real life major league story for those that have watched the movie before, just with all the stuff that the owner's doing as well.
The owner is awful. There was more fans in the parking lot in opening day than there was in the stadium, because they're protesting as well. I mean, it is literally an ugly, ugly situation all around.
They just demoted a guy to AAA who was batting over 400 in the start of the season. Like, you can't make this up. I feel like this owner is doing everything in his power to just make this team as miserable as possible, so he has any reason whatsoever to move this team.
Indy, deserving of a baseball team. Nashville.
I can see that.
Nashville, I think, is 100%.
Then you're getting into our territory, and I don't like that.
I know, because there's been plenty of rumors about the Tribe. The Guardians being moved in terms of going to Nashville. However, Progressive just signed a huge extension on the ballpark. I think it was to 2035, if I'm not correct, to rename Progressive. Spoiler alert, because these things are all now connected together. And then I'm going to throw it to you, and then I'm going to let you throw to your piece of news while I go grab something to drink, because I need it for during the show. And I'm ill prepared because we were watching our teams together.
I got the fan going right now.
I know you still got the fan going. I'll give you a second to handle that one here in a minute. But Nashville, us going. But this Progressive lease is now signed. Part of that Progressive lease. And shout out to Nick for throwing us up. We're up 3-0 now, and we were going to talk plenty of Guardians. Don't worry. Part of that Progressive deal, it's been rumored, and I'm pretty sure you might be able to find it in that deal, was the name change. So that's how you make sure you keep your baseball team.
Yeah, and They have just announced that they opened up the new area in Progressive Field. They have about 1 million signs out front now, so it's obviously a big thing. But we're going to touch on the Guardians a little bit more. Again, sorry for Oakland, but there's nothing that we can do. But to move on to the next piece of news, sucks that Ken isn't here because he'll really like this one.
I'm here.
The Iowa LSU women's basketball game reached 12.3 million viewers this past weekend, the most in college basketball women's history. this was an amazing game. We're going to touch on it more when we touch on the brackets, but my Lord, that was worth the watch. And if you were looking at ticket prices, if you were in Cleveland for these upcoming Final Four games, good luck. They are reaching the thousands for a very not great ticket. So good luck, but it's gonna be a fun ride this weekend. It's gonna be just absolutely insanity, and Cleveland's gonna be a fun time.
Absolutely. I'm not that far away, so we're going to touch on the Guardians. And remind me when we do touch on the Guardians, I want to touch back on that stadium stuff that you mentioned. But you stole my stat that I was going to bring up during the game or during our discussion, but that is 100% okay. Yeah, and Nick brought up another great point. Most viewers on the year outside of the Super Bowl so far. Like, that is amazing.
And it was worth it.
It was a great game, yes.
Oh my God.
These girls can play, man. These women can play.
We've been saying this.
Right. If you follow this show, none of this is a surprise to you. I'm going to save it because I'm already worked up, so I got to relax a minute before I rile back up. I've got something coming for all of you. Not all of you. Some of you who just don't have nice things to say about a particular team that I like in general, and that is the LSU women Tigers. Yeah, I got something to say. But
fair enough.
But I'll be somewhat nice. But yes, an amazing game, worth the viewership. I tried my butt off to stay up for UConn and for UConn and
yes.
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 I'm blanking right now. But I went back and rewatched it the next day, but because I fell asleep just like everyone else in the middle of the Guardians and the UConn game. But that amazing. We're going to touch on that in a minute. Do you have any more news?
No, that's all I got. I'm ready to talk some sports, baby. Let's
absolutely. My other news, although, was Erling Haaland is a League Two player. Shout out to Roy Keane for that. We'll touch back on that during the footy. Kind of funny. But Drew, our Final Four is set in Cleveland. Oh, by the way, you mentioned those ticket prices. There's no bad seats in the queue, though. So even if you have to spend,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
You're still gonna be able to see basketball. When I was in the media section for the MAC tournament, I was pretty much kind of up there. Listen, there's no bad seats in that, baby. But the Final Four is set on both sides of the bracket, bro.
Yes.
But we're gonna start on the men's side. So lay those out for me as I get in everybody's way, as I bring my light a little closer, because we're just a mess today, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, listen, I got a brand new graphic up. We got a little fancier. We got the logos, and we see some familiar faces, but also some unfamiliar faces in this Final Four.
Yeah, look, I know this is weird to everybody. This is not a football bracket. I know you see Alabama there.
UConn's in it, so we know it's not a football bracket.
UConn and Purdue kind of completely messed that whole thing up, but I'm just saying, I know you see Alabama there, so it throws you off. But yes, Alabama. So, Drew, I have a question off rip as everybody sees this. If I'm just clinking and clacking things open as I'm trying to get my energy up. It's been a long day at work today. Is Alabama the best shot we have at beating the Huskies?
No. Ooh, they have a chance, and I like them because that Alabama team can go punch for punch on offense, but UConn has that advantage on defense to just completely shut down teams. And so if Alabama has a little bit of a lull, I think UConn has a good chance of going through. But if you look on that other side of the bracket, you have two teams that are going to
far ahead on me.
No. You have two teams that are going to slug it out for that final spot.
Oh, yeah.
And either team, I think, has a chance to beat UConn. But I think Alabama, they have a lot of firepower. But I think that UConn team is too good defensively in comparison. And I think that UConn has the advantage more so than if they were to play Purdue or NC State.
They're shooting right now, Alabama, 41.4% from the three-point line right now. Okay, wow. For this tournament. Okay, UConn goes on 30-0 runs. Okay, that's not a joke. That is literally what they did. What Dan Hurley and this team is doing it's amazing. This isn't just a 1-year run. It's not I got a good class, so I make a good run. He's building this program back up to where it was. I mean, dude, listen to these numbers, little bro. And I know I just completely went super Joe Rogan. Dude, listen to these numbers, bro. But they beat Illinois by 25, over 25. San Diego State by 30. Yes, Northwestern by 17. And then they win in the first round. And remember that one? It was 39. This isn't just winning. This is dominating. Okay. This is all right. Alabama, though, I mean, they've beaten the teams who were supposed to be the teams who were going to challenge UConn, i.e., that would be North Carolina and Clemson. Those are the two teams everybody said, oh, North Carolina. I picked them. You picked them. Everybody picked them. Clemson, once they won out of that first round, oh, Clemson's going to do it. Clemson can do it. Nope. UConn. Let's get out of that one and let's go to what you talked about. Yes, this is a big-time heavyweight matchup. I'm all about this. This is big, old-school bully ball. Purdue versus NC State. Shades of Jim Valvano and his Miracle 83 Wolfpack from back in the day. This NC State team is stupid fun. DJ Burns is a star in the making. We've got a chance here for him to not just be a star, but go to another level if he bodies up Zach Edey. Somebody else has made the comparison, so I appreciate you stealing what I've already said or what I've already thought. But that would be that this kid reminds me of Zebo. When he made that run in Memphis, with the way he was playing in Memphis, when you just could not move him, bully balling dudes out of the way. This kid is a monster, and he's got great footwork. So it isn't just bullying kids. It's not sloppiness either.
No.
But Zach Edey has played great too. They can shoot the three now, which means you can't just double him either. And he's better at passing out of that double team as well. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, those are the two names that you mentioned that are the key for each of their team, because like Purdue, obviously he can shoot the three, but their first spot is Zach Edey. And let me tell you, 7'4", 285, averaging 30 points and 16 rebounds in this tournament. No one has been able, we all said they're going to get to a guy that can stop him, or they're going to get him moving out, and no one has done that yet. No one has been able to figure out how to stop Zach Edey. But if one team is going to do it, it is NC State and DJ Burns Jr. Like I said, Zach Edey, 7'4", 285. DJ Burns, 6'9", 260, averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists in this tournament. He, like you said, he has great footwork. He can move outside of the paint. This is
great passer out of the double team.
This is the best chance I think a team has at stopping Zach Edey, because whoever wins that matchup between the two, I think is going to win this game. And it's going to be really, really tough. I really can't tell you who I think is going to win this one, but whoever wins that matchup, I think wins this game. And it's going to be a slugfest the entire time, and it's going to be fun as hell to watch.
I mean, no offense to this when I say this, but you did state an obvious when you say that whoever wins this matchup is going to win this game. But that's because of how important each of these guys is for their team. But we got to give some love to Purdue. Everyone in the country who was not a Boilermaker or a Boilermaker alum or fan said this team's going to choke, whether it might be in the first round, might be in the second round, but it'll be for sure by the third round. They won't make it to the Sweet Six. They won't make it to the Elite Eight. They won't make it to the final. So at some point, I was going to say, at some point, we've got to give some love to Purdue, because they're doing what every one of us pretty much said that they couldn't. So big shout out to Zach Edey. Like I said, cannot double team him. He'll pass out. He will find his 3-point shooters. And this team has played good defense as well. Here's the thing, though. Nobody's really had a guy who's been able to go, okay, well, first of all, now on defense, it'll be a little different. How tall is that? You're 7 what?
7'4".
7, huh? Big as the what? Yeah, 7'4". Okay, like wrestling. To shout out WrestleManias this weekend, like made up wrestling heights. Okay, hailing from the middle of nowhere, parts unknown, weighing 400 pounds, standing in at 7'8". But I mean, DJ Burns is going to be able to push him out of the paint. But I mean, it's going to be still hard to block shots and stuff like that. But on the offensive end, Edey's going to have to play defense. It's not going to be able to just kind of touch and roam. That's not going to work. You're going to have to body up, and you're going to be out physical. So that means third quarter, or late in that second half, I should say, where's your fatigue level going to be? Yeah. What's your stamina be? Because Zach Edey, you ain't been challenged like this yet. Burns has been challenged game after game after game. And can we talk about those games real quick? We've mentioned the 83 Wolfpack. that Jim Valvano team that won a national championship, one of the last lower seeds to win a national championship. But let's talk about this team. This run, okay? They lost 4 in a row before the ACC championship, or before the ACC conference champion. They had to win it to get in. They ran off. Oh, I'm sorry. Those 4 teams that they did lose to, FSU, North Carolina, Duke, and Pitt. Then they ran into the ACC tournament, beat Louisville, beat Syracuse, beat Duke, beat Virginia, beat North Carolina. Then went into this tournament, Texas Tech, Oakland, Marquette, Duke again. Who you got?
Dude, I don't know. It's one of those games that if like one person has an off game, that team loses. And so it's basically having to predict who's going to be the worst, like the one player on which team. So I'm going to sit back. I'm not giving opinion on this one. I'm just going to say I'm going to enjoy it.
First of all, little bro.
Let me get out easy. All
right. You know what? Here, for winning the Chelsea Man United game, I will let you slide on that prediction.
I appreciate that.
Piece of garbage.
Dude, it's so even here. It's really hard to pick.
Give me North Carolina State. Give me the magical run to Yeah, sure. Give me the magical run to continue. But either way, I've got them versus UConn. And I don't know. I don't know if either team can beat UConn, because no matter what, and I know these big guys can play big, and maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need one star, i.e. maybe a Caitlin Clark performance to beat to beat this UConn team. And we're going to touch on it. Caitlin Clark and Iowa won because the others, as Shaq calls them, to help you win championships. I'm not calling them others to be disrespectful, but they have to step up. So DJ Burns, Zach Edey, who's going to be your Robin, and who's also going to be your Nightwing. And I'm going to get hammered here because
come on.
And no, because after that I have to go Batgirl, because that's all I got. Like I got nothing.
That's what I had in my head too, so don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is where we get crucified on that part. But yeah, so that would be your men's Final Four. We both got UConn. We both are very, very unsure on the other side. Now let's get these men out of here. It's time to talk about the women, and you'll see 2 familiar faces. Yes, both NC State and UConn sending a team to the men and women's Final Four, a chance for both of those teams on both sides of the brackets to meet, but I'm not so sure. So let's talk about it first. South Carolina finally had a scare, bro. And I want to give absolute 100% credit to 216 Sports Network's own host of the Rulers Minute with Rico McGee. He told you on our show Indiana had the best chance to upset South Carolina. And as of right now, he 100% right. Because as soon as they got done with almost tripping up against Indiana, they absolutely started rolling against Oregon State, setting up another matchup, like I said, with the 2 schools who have brought 2 teams. NC State. Talk to me about this South Carolina, but talk to me about this matchup with NC State.
Yeah, honestly, this very much feels like the men's side, if I'm being completely honest, because on one side, you have the undeniable favorites versus a team that's still really good in NC State, but a team that no one really thinks is going to win just because of how dominant South Carolina has been. But like you said, these past 2 games, especially the one against Indiana, this South Carolina team has looked beatable.
Yeah.
Now, is that a slip up? Potentially because they were looking ahead to maybe the Oregon State versus Notre Dame game and they kind of had a lapse, but now they're right? Or is it now more of a thing that we could potentially see now getting into the Final Four of the national championship when you play them a certain way? That is a massive question that will be answered in these next 2 games.
Or is it really hard to win 3,800 games in a row?
That is also very true.
Especially when they mean this much. But, I mean, you're not wrong, especially what they turned around and did to Oregon State, which potentially could have been Oregon State or a healthy Notre Dame team. Shout out to Hannah. We'll be back next year. We're not even worried about that.
Always.
But the other side of the bracket, and we've got to talk about it. So this is where, and we forgot that team was USC, by the way, that we completely disrespected in the first segment. So shout out to those girls. But we need to talk about LSU and Iowa. An absolute amazing game. 12.3 million people watched Iowa beat LSU, like Drew stole from me in the early news segment. Caitlin Clark, yes, mom put it up. Caitlin Clark went for 41, 12, and 7. Helped by her Robin, guard Martin, going for 21. However, I'm going to flip the script over here because I want to talk about LSU real quick. So we have given love to LSU, and we're going to talk about Iowa as we get to this UConn game, but I want to give some love to LSU. Fallujah, 23. And I want to say this because I've watched some LSU games, but it stood out more even with Caitlin Clark out there. She is 100% the best athlete on the court. It is amazing. And she's a bleeping sophomore.
Yeah.
She's coming back.
I know.
I also want to give out some love. Morrow, 14 and 14. And Angel Reese, 17 and 20. Okay. And playing on a twisted ankle. If she doesn't twist that ankle, this isn't, what if? No. That Caitlin Clark 3-point barrage in the third quarter is to keep Iowa in the game. Yeah. Okay, because LSU was starting to establish some dominance. Okay, so I absolutely want to give love to LSU. Before what currently happened, I was going to talk about what could be potentially next for LSU, but we'll hold on that because that whole roster is in flux. However, Flo, I can't wait to see you next year. You will be along with Hannah Hidalgo and another girl that we will get to in the next game. You three will be the face of women's basketball on the college level next year, and I absolutely cannot wait for it. Except no one likes your coach, and with reason. UConn and USC. That person we were talking about at USC, that would be outstanding, talented freshman Juju Watkins. Oh, I do apologize because you kind of froze up during the middle of me talking about the LSU Iowa game. Any thoughts that you wanted to throw in there about that game? I'm sorry before I just completely dusted on and moved us on.
I mean, it was close in the first half. It ended, I think, tied.
Yeah.
But then what we've seen for this entire season and last season.
Cue the TikTok, Caitlin Clark. I understand
LSU
it.
And Haley Van Lith had absolutely no answer for Caitlin Clark. She was shooting shots from 5-7 feet behind the 3-point line and drilling them like it was nothing. Shout out, Mom. How we doing? It was unreal. It was absolutely unreal to watch something like that. It honestly, to put it into like a perspective, it felt like it was the playoffs and I'm watching Damian Lillard drag a Portland team to the next round of the playoffs. It was absolutely ridiculous what she was doing, and I was beyond impressed.
But she got the CJ McCollum 30-point game last night.
Exactly.
That's what happened. Caitlin Clark. She got the 30-point beast mode. Absolutely, Moms. She got the 30-point game from McCollum last night. So that's why. And also, Mom said hi, peeps. I'm throw it out there. Peeps are disgusting. My son is currently eating them still from his Easter candy. Don't care what you say. Peeps are gross. Shout out to that. You get to see the screen zoomed up as Straub fixed his lighting. But as so that's Iowa LSU. Moving on. USC and UConn. UConn took them down 80-7-3 in the late game, despite a fantastic performance from Trojan freshman Juju Watkins, 29 and 10. Like I said, her, Flo, Hannah Hidalgo, the faces of women's college basketball next year. But the reason, because just like Caitlin Clark, just like the South Carolina team. Paige Buckners, 28, 10, and 6, setting up an amazing matchup that we have coming up. UConn versus Iowa. Drew, you ready to come back in here with me? Throw up the Final Four. So yes, here we go.
I agree. Peeps are disgusting.
Thank you. As you jump back in.
Absolutely agree. Peeps are disgusting.
I love it. So Iowa and UConn, bro. Talk to me.
And I know I said this with the last teams, but I think this other side of the bracket is very similar to the other side of the men's bracket, in where the one side you have the reigning, the not the reigning, but the overall favorite versus maybe an underdog. These two teams.
Let me put that to the graphic if you're not necessarily watching. The UConn men are the South Carolina women. So and that's what it is. Alabama is NC State on the women's side, and then on the other side you've got these two. You've got Zach Edey, you got DJ Burns, well, you've got Caitlin Clark and Paige Buckners.
Exactly. And so you obviously have this massive figure in Caitlin Clark that, while it has, the people around her, carries this team and is the lifeblood of this team. While on UConn, you obviously have Paige Buckner, but you have that whole team playing so fluidly that I'm not sure who's going to win this one. Now, I'm not going to cop out on this one. I do have an answer, but this one is a lot closer than I think some people are thinking, because I think you have a very divided thing here where a lot of people think it's Caitlin Clark. She's going to move on. That's what they do. But then you have a lot of other people that are saying she's due for a bad game. UConn's going to take over, stuff like that. I think this is going to be a massively close game, but I have Caitlin Clark and Iowa advancing.
And I just want to point out, that's no.
Well, listen, there's a lot of horrible food takes that my mother has, so I don't want to get into it.
But okay, so I do want to point out a little bit of revenge. We got to make up something. Caitlin Clark mentioning that she grew up a UConn fan. I mean, honestly, if you're a girl who played basketball, I can understand growing up a UConn fan. It was pretty much UConn, Tennessee, and then later on South Carolina and Notre Dame. But yes, this UConn team is stacked. It's a UConn team. Like, let's not forget. Like, let's not pretend like Gino Auriemma isn't the coach there and he doesn't do what he does.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Is she due for a bad game, or is she just due to continue to just be hot and on fire like she's been? Same thing. DJ Burns due for a bad game. I don't know. Are you going to be willing to bet against it? Here's what I know. I cannot wait for at some point in the third quarter or at some point in the fourth quarter where it's just roll the ball up. Here comes Caitlin Clark. Roll the ball up. Here comes Paige Buckner. I am absolutely here for that. Just the same way I was here for LSU versus Iowa. Also, get off of Haley Van List back. She needed an IV, but she did get cooked. I don't see.
And she is currently in the transfer portal.
Is she really? Did she go in? Okay,
officially confirmed. Yeah,
beautiful. Notre Dame needs another guard. Come on.
Honestly, I could see it. Give me
Hannah Hidalgo and Haley Van Lith, and I will be the most obnoxious Notre Dame fan of all time.
That's going to be your two Straubs of the week every single week.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. But back to this one. It's going to be amazing to watch these two go at it and these two teams go at it. Listen, my men's bracket is absolute torn to shreds. My women's bracket, hey, sir, those are my two teams still. So give me South Carolina, give me Iowa. Let the historic journey continue. And I'll say this. If Caitlin Clark goes from taking down the LSU team to this Paige Buckner's UConn team, and then South Carolina, moving on.
Speaking of brackets, I think we need a little update because there has been a shakeup in the men's and women's brackets.
Damn.
To talk, we'll start with the men's. We have Trey overtaking ESPN fan bunch of numbers. So we have a name to the number one, but
shout out ESPN to Justin fan. Witt. I see you down there, Witty. You still got a chance.
But ESPN bunch of numbers does have the most potential points out of the top 5. So we will see. And my good buddy Josh barely hanging in the top 5. He's got 720. He can only get 720. So we'll see what happens there.
Hey, hanging on, man. Still staying in the bracket. Oh, what's going on in this women's
moving
side?
to the women's, we have a new top of the women's bracket. My buddy Tim Dawson, the one you were scared of with the amount of potential points, is overtaking you by 20, and he has more potential points than you by 20. But it is so close going into this final stretch.
Did he hit all 4? All 4 Final Four?
He had 3 of the 4, I think. I don't think he had.
I think
NC
so did
State.
I think so did I. But I think the problem is I might have.
I think he has.
Is he Iowa?
He might be UConn.
Might be.
He might be UConn. So that might be the difference.
Whatever. I see you, Tim. I remember Tim from baseball. Tim, right?
Yes.
I know Tim. Whatever, Tim. Whatever.
Listen, shout out to Tim Dawson on the pod. Mom's shouting out Tim Dawson.
Absolutely. All right. That is awesome. Thank you for updating those brackets. I told you I was worried about them. I saw him coming in the rearview mirror. So, all right, man. We had the new TikTok debut last week. This is my third. I mean, there is no such thing as gold, silver, and bronze on this show. It's just the first best segment, the first A segment, and first B segment. And that would be, you see the new hat, baby. Yeah, shout out to that one. It's time to guard. Yeah, it is. It is. Shout out to this new crispy Carhartt Carhartt Cleveland jacket. It's time to guard the land, baby. Let's go. We started off in Oakland. I know we gave some love and we gave our condolences to Oakland's baseball team, and that's because we went in there. Yeah. You like that? I said Nick threw up the eyes. You like that, bro? That's a good one. Get on Fanatics and you can find that one. Giving away free love here, free plugs all the time. We went up to Oakland and took the rest of whatever was left of their baseball team and beat them up. They outscored the A's. I want to mention this, 29-10. Yeah.
That's something worse.
What?
In the 6 games that they have played, they have committed 13 errors.
Ooh, the A's? Oh, that's awful. That is
6 more than the next highest.
Oof. It's bad. It's bad news bears over there. The back end of the rotation is still going to be tough for this Guardians team. Those Carrasco games are going to be 5 or 6, and then the bullpen's got to come in and take care of their job. But I'm beyond excited. I was excited for that first series. The 2 home runs was a little nervy, but 29 scored runs. I mean, we want them to play small ball, but we're going to see. Coming out of that first series, though, Stephen Kwan absolutely just lighting it on fire. And then we go into this Mariners series, bro.
Yeah, which a team that was looking to contend this year,
absolutely,
kind of getting a little trounced on.
Yeah, they took game 1 from us, but we've been hitting the ball.
Yes. Do you want to hear how well we've been hitting the ball?
Let's go.
1st in run differential in +28. 4th in.
Oh, and they lost him. He's having all kinds of issues today. We're leading the.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I don't even know where I left off at. I was too excited.
4th in run differential. I got your back, bro.
Yes. Yeah. 1st in run differential at +28. 4th in runs per game at 6.5. 3rd in hits per game at 10. 5th in batting average. 3rd in ERA, which is even better on the pitching side. And something that we were so critical of last year. We have the lowest ground ball rate in the majors as a team. We are hitting the ball in the air. It is going places. We may only have 5 home runs, which is 23rd in the MLB. But right now, that's a side issue. We are hitting, and it's looking amazing. But very, very, very early. I want to tone.
I know, but I want to give a shout out to Bo Naylor, who is hitting the cover off the ball right now. Yesterday, now I don't have a score update right now. They were up 3-0. But I do want to talk about yesterday, because yesterday they come out and smoked Seattle again, 8-0. Kwan had 3 hits. Jimenez had 2 hits. Hosey, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Will Brennan, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And my guy, Josh Naylor, 3 RBIs. We're hitting. You got a score update for me?
4-1, middle of the 6th.
Let's go. I do want to talk about something, because this is important. This will go on the new TikTok. and that is Shane Bieber. Why? Because Shane Bieber, it put up a stat lines in the first 2 starts of this season that only one other pitcher has done since 1901. Do you know who that other pitcher was? Shane Bieber. Yeah, the man is who he is. He is him, okay? So I just listen, I know it's April. It's early. Wins in April count as much as they do in September. It's just, can you carry how hot you are in April all the way into September? But this team looks good. I'm going to say it. I'm going to try to say it this last time in terms of being negative to last year, and I want to move forward with it. The reason this team is playing so well is what I said in my group chat and what I said to you. One consistent voice in the locker room and in the clubhouse, week in, week out, with the same plan going. All of the issues that Tito had in and out of the clubhouse, different strategies, different mindsets. I don't care what you say. The whole coaching staff can be on the same page. It doesn't matter. It matters who's reading the book. So that's the biggest thing. And the kids are playing. That's a lot. The kids are playing, and I want to give a shout out to my coworker Brian, who gave me a shout out, because one of the things I said to him is one of the things we said in our big segment when we talked about the Guardians for the first time was Josh Naylor getting consistent at bats. And when Josh Naylor plays first, give Jose some time at DH. Make sure Jose has plenty of days off from the field while you still get to keep his bat. Boom, he goes into DH. Boom, look at the game he had yesterday. Wrap it up on all your thoughts left on the Guardians.
Yeah, listen, it's very exciting. Obviously, there's some issues that could creep up. Like I said, the lack of power. I have no stats, but the bullpen scares me a little. Yeah. They've been playing well, but you're kind of on a knife's edge right now, especially with Stefan out. There's no real go-to guy right now, that like first guy out of the pen. But there's a lot to be excited about and happy about, regardless of how this continues. We know that where they can be, and that ceiling is really, really nice.
It is. So when we're still in contention here, come All-Star game, who are we trading for a nice back end bullpen? No, I'm just playing. Let's let this play out. But with a division like ours, where there is no real standout, I know the Twins are supposed to be the standout, but
Detroit's looking actually pretty decent.
And I know they are, and I know Detroit was Jeff Passan on ESPN picked them as his sleeper pick of all teams.
That dude knows how to talk baseball, man.
But we don't have a Philly. We don't have a Baltimore. We don't have a team like that. So we can compete. We can be in here. But I don't want to see it. And then I've already heard the jokes. Bieber looks good enough for 2 top prospects. I see it. I hear it. I see it.
It's actually a pretty good one, if I'm being honest.
Shut up, little bro. But I know. I get it. Listen, it's up here. I haven't been able to pull it down yet. I'm going to make things fall. But let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm excited for this team. I really, really, really am. This thing is really hard to get back up there, and I'm going to make a mess trying to do that. Let's go. All right. So that finishes up Guard the Land. Once again, shout out to this Chris new hat that I bought. I'll debut the one with Notre Dame colors next week. But this is going to be a recurring theme. I don't know if I'm going to say this every week, but it's the way I want to introduce it. Every week, athletes step up. They separate them from the rest. They stand out. They create their own wave. They show us that you're a bro, a Straub Bro, a Straub Bro of the week. This week, sponsored by Create Your Own Wave. Follow Create Your Own Wave apparel at Create Your Own Wave 2021 on Instagram. Shout out to my guy, Austin. Get with us. As you see, this is the t-shirt. We will be collaborating on some stuff, but go check his stuff out, please. It is some fire stuff, but we've got our Straub Bros of the week. You're first.
So,
you're gonna shove them in there, aren't you? Go ahead.
I was teetering back and forth. Well, no, I had one. I'll say that. I had one, but you kind of already hit on Shane Bieber.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. You hit on Shane Bieber. Well worth the praise. So I'm going to pivot to a more recent performance,
I hate you.
a performance that started or that ended about an hour ago. And that is Chelsea player Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has been by far our best player this year. He is our penalty taker. He is our leader. He is the guy we go to. He can leave. I got the spotlight here
I'm walking
when
away.
things happen. And today, he proved once again why he is the best player on our team in a hat trick, in a comeback performance. Oh, I lost the thing. It's okay.
I'm still here.
I'm back. No worries. I'm back. A hat trick and a comeback where we almost blew it, but then came back and won it. Cole Palmer, you are the person that makes my weekends and now weekdays happy. Thank you so much. That is my Straub Bro of the week. And I blame you because I had Shane Bieber, but you put him in a different thing, so that's on you.
Well, you might
You're
listen
welcome.
if you had him and Garnacho, you're gonna win that, Sean. With your FPL team. You just completely derailed all my Straub Bros, you jerk.
Oh, Straub Bros.
That's all right.
Sorry. Get the multiple out. I stick to the one, but I'm the bad guy.
I know. I do whatever I want. Rant time. And the funny part is in my notes, the last one, because I hadn't written it up yet, was United Game Hero. I don't have a hero this week, but I've got plenty of Straub Bros anyways. The first one, and I'm gonna go on and we're gonna change the tone here for a second and get a little serious for a second. I know normally I just talked about it's winning players that intro kind of would make you to believe when I say stepping up, separating from yourself, but creating your own wave. My first Straub Bro of the week is Angel Reese, who declared for the WNBA draft. She will leave LSU as a national champion, SEC Player of the Year, and an All-American. Go get your bags, Bayou Barbie. And man, y'all need to do better in these comment sections and your statuses and your flat out just hate on this young woman. I'm so sorry that loud women, more importantly, and I'm just going to be straight up factual about this, loud black women happen to bother y'all so much. Okay. Get over it. Okay. It says more about you than it says anything about her or her play. I'm so tired of this. The girl can flat out ball. She is going to be able to ball in the WNBA. She is so strong. It is crazy how strong she is on the block. She can get to ball and block shots that not many players can get to. So shout out to you, Angel Reese. Forget the haters. Go get your bags. You did everything that you possibly could have done at LSU. Bro, I know you got more on that.
Yeah, so the one thing I saw, which I actually kind of agree with, the fact that a women's basketball game, specifically a women's player, is getting this much toxicity on Twitter and on social media shows how big the game is becoming, because you see that kind of behavior, unfortunately, all the time on men's basketball. But unfortunately, when you look at the women's game, the only bad comments are, I don't want to watch this, yada, yada, yada. But when you actually, obviously, these comments are unacceptable. But this does show how big the game is becoming, which awful in one part, but great nonetheless.
Listen, find the silver linings in all of the garbage.
Yes.
and all of the things that are thrown and hurled at you. And you know what that is? You're making them watch. You're making the trolls come out of the basement, okay, to find their keyboard through the Cheetos and through the Mountain Dew to come through and fire these comments off because, girl, you're doing everything that you said that you would. So shout out to you, Angel Reese. Go get your bags. I was going to mention, though, if she was coming back to have another year with Flo. Good luck, South
She's
Carolina.
a top 10 pick.
Oh my goodness, dude! It's gonna be her. It's gonna be from the girl from South Carolina. I apologize, her name is going off my head right now. Cardozo.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is going in the top. Buckner's is going in the top. It's gonna be one of the best and deepest
stacked class,
WNBA draft. I can't wait to watch all of these women play on the next level. But yeah, shout out to you, Angel Reese. You're my first and most important Straub Bro of the week this week. My second, I want to give a sprinkle of a little love to Rajon Rondo, who retired from the NBA this week. National TV Rondo is a real thing. You can Google it. You can look it up. It is a real thing. Something I'll tell my son about. The reason those Celtics teams were able to win was because of his young self running the show for those old men. The triple-double against Miami when he single-handedly took down the big three himself. Legendary, Hall of Fame, easy. One of the greatest passing point guards to play this game. He really is. And his mind is amazing. He'll be on a podcast breaking down basketball, coming to a coaching staff near you, I'm going to assume. Come on now, everybody. We know who the third.
I was honestly surprised she didn't come earlier, but it is coming nonetheless.
Caitlin Clark, baby, leading Iowa to the Final Four, 9 threes. We've already talked about it so many times, but she absolutely deserves love because she did it. But not just her. So does Paige Buckner's. So does the South Carolina team, and so does NC State. But I had to give my love there. All right, so. That's your basketball. That's your baseball. And those were your Straub Bros of the week, brought to you by Create Your Own Wave. It's time to talk the footy. Very, very depressing day of footy.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is it's an amazing day to talk some soccer. I'm ready.
Shut up. But we had two kind of English Premier League weeks to kind of review. So we're just going to touch on those quickly before we kind of get into this one. So this was last week, or I should say this past weekend. We had some Tyler Adams watch. We had some Tyler Adams love. Absolutely. He played very well against Bournemouth and Everton. I won't go on it too much. I know you will save that. The rest of these results kind of sucked this week, bro. Spurs didn't Spurs. Liverpool rebounded. Newcastle stormed back. That would be probably your result of the weekend. Was down 3-1 at some point. Yes, Mom, just so you know, because she's asking in the comments, I take it you won. Yes, Mom, that's what that means.
What?
Newcastle stormed back, but these results for the weekend for me and you were not good. You choked, I choked. And then City and Arsenal 0-0 didn't really live up to the big game expectations that it was. That draw kind of knocked City off. And according to someone that I respect very much and like very much, and that would be Rebecca Lowe of NBC Sports. Man, when you're doing this and you're trying to grab these names out of all over the fly, sometimes you lose them while you're talking about them. But Rebecca Lowe said City's out of the title race now.
Wow.
City is out of the title race now. Especially now with the result of Liverpool winning today, taking them 2 points clear. Thoughts?
I will never knock City out of a championship race, if I'm being completely honest. Just they have some voodoo. But I think Liverpool has a massive advantage now. But unfortunately, we've also seen Liverpool drop a lot of games that they should be winning. So I will not give any edge to any team right now. But you did say that the Newcastle game was really good. The Sheffield United and Fulham game finished 3-3. 2 Fulham goals past the 85th minute saved a point from them. That was a great one. And
100%.
Speaking of my result, what did I say last week? I think I said defending was the issue. Yeah, we're gonna just roll that tape again. Defending is the issue. So
I mean, like we can be honest, defending was your issue today too. You gave up 3 not very good goals. So you just happened to score 4 yourself. that would be those two scores down at the bottom with X's. Obviously, yes, Chelsea 4, Manchester United 3 in the Battle of the Straub Bros. Liverpool, I think that would ended up being 3-1 to Sheffield, or 3-1 over Sheffield United, pretty
Yes.
much burying Sheffield United out of the Premier League. And like I said, putting Liverpool 2 points ahead. That table updated,
Not updated.
not fully updated, but as you see, Liverpool still up there. Arsenal as well. Hoy. Yeah, they keep talking about me potentially making top 4. That's a joke. But we'll deal with that in another time. So our upcoming week. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
You highlight some games and then I will talk about my own.
Yeah, so we have some not any crazy games this week, but obviously other than the one that you have, but there are some games that could potentially be scary for some teams. Manchester City are playing Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is always punchy for some reason, so we will see if Manchester City can keep it. Arsenal face Brighton. Brighton obviously having a down year, but for some reason, once every like 3 or 4 games has a world-class performance, so that's potential there. Tottenham, after we said that they won over the weekend, but they did draw to West Ham, fully further putting them out of the Champions League place. They are playing Nottingham Forest. That is a must-win. And then, obviously, Aston Villa are playing Brentford. Brentford could always get up for a game. That is your top 4. In terms of me, we just had an amazing comeback victory. We were playing Sheffield United. So we will draw and or lose because that is exactly what we do after big game wins. That is how that is. Ken, you obviously have the game of the week. Lay it on me.
Liverpool United. Here we go again. Well, now I'm torn because the first half of the Manchester United Chelsea game, when you were up 2-0, I was like, all right, so we're gonna pack this one in. It's gonna be 3-0, 4-0 Chelsea, and then we're gonna go smoke Liverpool because this and it was so great. The announcer, and his name is leaving my head right now. The ones that did our game today called us both consistently inconsistent. I think that is
the most
best
accurate statement I've ever heard in my life.
So, but now since we got so high up and almost won the Chelsea game again, or the game against you, I don't even know now. I have no idea. If Andre Onana would decide to play some goal, this would be a little bit better. The problem is now I have no center backs. I literally have no center backs. Rafael Varane came off injured in the first half, and then Johnny Evans made it 20 minutes. So yeah, I got Harry Maguire, and great. So there's that. Kobe Mano looked a little tired today. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. He looked exhausted. He looks like he needs a couple days rest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do want to give a shout out to the other kids though. Anthony got his first assist in our game. Played great on the wing. I'm not gonna lie. Garnacho always 2 goals poached in.
Great goal. Great goal.
Right. Thank you. Oh yeah, great goal! Absolute amazing finish. Off an amazing cross on the outside of the foot.
That's his first goal contribution this year. I think they said
his first assist in the Premier League. Just shut up. All right, you got 3 points. Shut up. So that's how I feel about that. I'm scared. My birthday's tomorrow. I've already lost this game. My birthday's shaping up to be an awful sports weekend. We'll get to the MLS side of that as well. This could be very, very bad for me. I'm not going to lie. Thankfully, it is my birthday. I get to celebrate another trip around the earth while celebrating all of my teams getting rocked. Anything else?
I guess just to go back to the table, it is a little outdated, but it's basically the same top 4 and top 5. My team with that win bumps up to 9th. With the win, and then if we look down at the table, the bottom of the table, it is a very close in the relegation fight as Luton Town 3 points down, but a game in hand, so could potentially keep challenging Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, though, if you can see on the far right side, has the goal differential advantage, which at the end of the year is crucial for teams close.
Crucial.
So watch those games. And like I said, Nottingham Forest is playing Tottenham. Luton Town, if we go back, is playing Bournemouth. So obviously Luton Town with a more favorable matchup, but you never know.
All right. Can we and listen, it's not that it doesn't sit right here, okay? Because I love it so much. Okay. But can we get to the team that won this week for me?
Yes, we
Let's talk
can.
some MLS. As you see, baby. Where's my result? There it is down there. LA Galaxy won. You got the wrong color. I use my yellow, but that's fine. You can use that weird blue too.
Same thing, man.
I understand. I don't necessarily want to talk about the results. I want to give us both some love. Your number one. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. That was the wrong one. Your number one team in the East, FC Cincinnati. Your number one team in the West,
Still
your
yet to lose.
LA Galaxy. I love it. I love it. Give us both some love first.
This is awesome, by the way.
I know, like this is great. Like a team, like what is it? First place by your name? Like this is amazing. I don't know what that feels like.
It's been a while.
Right, it's been a long while. That's a nice one. Which jersey is that you got on today, by the way?
Here we go. We got my Colo Colo jersey. They are a South American team. I think it is one of the coolest jerseys I own, and it also has the old school. I've had the thing on. They have the old school collar, which I thought is one of the nicest things that jerseys ever have.
You're never gonna convince me that a jersey with a collar is ugly, unless it's a Manchester City jersey, or a Liverpool jersey. Let's talk MLS. Chicago struggling. Chicago was a team that after their first two results, we gave some love to, especially you did, because, they were actually, playing well. They weren't winning, but now it is, yeah. So yeah, I do want to give Sean a shout out first. You both have first place teams.
That is weird.
Ain't it weird, City and Columbus Crew fan? Isn't it weird, front runner? Man, it's got to be weird for your front running, but to not be. Hey, Avery, shout out. Hey, listen, I'm a sucker, Avery. You want a shout out? Here's your shout out. Thanks for the subscription. We appreciate you. Shout out to wherever you are. Give us that and I'll shout you out further. But Chicago struggling again. And I do want to give a shout out to Georgi Mihailovic. Put on an absolute clinic against LAFC. 2 goals and an assist. Drew, give me your 2 results.
Yeah. So we have a team that played well last year, but it's really coming on strong beginning of the season. Real Salt Lake, if you see it, 3-1 win over St. Louis, your reigning MLS West champions in the regular season. 3-1 win, a 20-minute hat trick by Christian Arango, all at the 70th minute mark or later. Won them the game. They're up to 3rd in the table in the West standings. And that's a team that obviously not a lot of people talk about, but is just strong all the way through from top to bottom. And potentially if they I know they're strong, but if they get one more player that can elevate them, they're going to do some damage in this playoffs. So we got that one.
Yep.
My other game, DC United 1-0 over Montreal. This was a tight game between the two until a 85th minute winner by Pedro Santos, which was assisted by Christian Benteke. I think Ken would want to know that one. Won them the game. And DC United... Oh, of course I am. And if you can see here, DC United hasn't made the playoffs in a while. Currently 8th in the MLS East standings. Not looking awful. I know we put praise on Chicago, but DC is basically doing the same exact thing that we thought that Chicago was going to continue to do, which is scrape results. If they don't win, they're going to draw, and they're just continuing to collect points and doing a really good job at it. And yes, Dad, I am piling it on. It's fine. Listen, for those that know, I'm having a great day. We're doing good.
Great. Like I said, so you can talk about your own team a little bit, but you continue to not always win a game, and that would be to draw. FC Cincinnati 1, Charlotte City 1, or Charlotte FC 1. But no, we're going to talk about me right now. LA Galaxy 1, Seattle 0. Seattle dead last in the Western Conference with 0 wins. LA Galaxy first in the Western Conference with 0 losses. My Galaxy, we're able to get an early goal, and then listen, when my Galaxy are up, you cannot allow us to just sit back and counterattack you. We're going to pick you apart. I'll just pick you apart. Ricky Pooch is going to sit in the middle of the field and he's just going to play the ball outside to Peck and outside to Pencil and up top to Holovich. But yeah, I got El Trafico coming this weekend. But before we talk about El Trafico coming this weekend, yeah, you picked up another draw, but you picked up another point, most importantly.
Yeah, and listen, all props to Charlotte. They played a great game. They played it really well, but this is, again, another game where the Strikers cannot get anything going, although having massive possession, 62% during the game. Bupenza was 1 for 5 on shots, 3 of which was in the box, and none of them were the ones that he scored on. And then Corey Baird just kind of looks like he's just running around out there. It really doesn't, like, he's not getting involved in the offense, which is really annoying. It's early, but to have a chance at making another run in the playoffs like we did, those two need to figure it out up top. We relied on Vasquez to be that main guy up there. We replaced him with 2 different guys, and they need to get in sync with the offense because Bupenza makes these great runs but can't finish. Baird just doesn't get involved at all. So
it's almost
everything else is working except for that, and unfortunately, that's basically the entirety of my soccer life.
It's almost like you're missing your striker from this last year.
Yeah, who's scoring like it's a child's game in Liga MX right now. It's beyond frustrating. Don't worry.
You absolutely miss Brandon Vasquez. That is beyond the facts there. And hey, listen, on my side too. And I'm going to talk about it here now that it's coming up. Listen, we're having to go get defenders because one injury and we're not doing very well, and we're not solid in the back sometimes. But your MLS preview this upcoming week, couple that I want to highlight, or the 2 that I want to highlight before I go all El Trafico on everybody's butt. Inter Miami versus Colorado. Can Georgi Mihailovic continue this hot streak and put Messi to shame? Can Inter Miami stop trying to score all these goals so late to take care of games? And then we've got a Canadian rivalry and a Canadian battle going on as we have Vancouver and Toronto this week as well. That'll be awesome. You can check that out. Straub, give me your 2 biggest games to look for this week, or 3.
Yeah, so I'll take 2 because I think you took the one that I was taking with the Canadian one. But a game that could go either way depending on the form of each team. DC United versus Columbus Crew. Columbus has been dropping a lot of points lately just based on some weird form and some just weird defensive issues. And DC United is a really tough team to play against right now. And so that'll be a really interesting game to watch. The other one that I'm looking at, which I think is just staring all of us dead in the face, Nashville and Philly, because I think these are 2 teams that Philly obviously has, but Nashville has been on the brink of for the past couple years. If they can just figure it out, and that's the only thing I could think of to say is figure it out. If one of those teams could figure it out, they are a massive threat down the stretch of this season, and this will be a very big litmus test for both teams to see where they are early on in the season and how far they have to go to, again, be dangerous come playoff time.
Wow, like that's a mic drop. I'm moving on. There's nothing. Everything.
Listen, you got your own rant coming, so I'm not even worried.
100%. I would like to. There it is. I was looking for that one. Put up the West table. Yes, El Trafico, LAFC versus my LA Galaxy is this weekend. And of course, Galaxy riding high. We have not lost a game. Yes, we've dropped some points, but we have not lost a game. LAFC sitting there at 9th, have dropped some games, have dropped some points, coming off a red card and pumping last week. So all this is made for me to just continue the disappointment of football and soccer on my birthday weekend. However, I'm gonna say this: if this team can get up defensively, we can score. We can score on LAFC. We absolutely can. We can score on anybody, I'll be honest. But so if we can get up for this defensively, I think we're right for this. I really do. I absolutely do.
I love the confidence.
Way more. Listen, I got 2 big rivalry games this weekend. Okay, I got Man United versus Liverpool. I got LA Galaxy versus LAFC. I think I'm gonna put the parlay together. I'm gonna put it out on Twitter. the Ken Straub Big Bro birthday Straub parlay of the week. I think I think we're gonna have to do that just for both of them to get rocked. But I'm confident here. Not cocky, but I'm confident here. We can score on LAFC, so if we can hold together, come on, boys, get up for it. If we can hold together defensively, we'll be all right.
I love that confidence. And I guess I'll talk about my game. Playing New York Red Bulls. It's a team that we should beat, and we've beaten in the past. But it's up. They have a strong defense, so it's up to your strikers. It's really up for Bupenza and Bear to figure it out. If not, we are going to be basically relying on Acosta the entire game, which we have done the past couple games. We will see. I am not entirely confident, but I think we're going to at least get a draw out of this.
You're not dropping many points, so we'll see what happens there. Strabo, time to give it to the people.
Yes.
Americans abroad. Drew, give us the rundown of our Yanks, of our Americans playing over in Europe.
Yes. So first, he came in late last night. Alejandro Zendejas had a goal in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They did draw last night, so they are obviously going to play another game. But he has been consistently playing well. He gets his goals. He has had maybe a bad game or two, but playing well. Next, Malik Tillman. He had an assist in PSV's win, and I calculated it. They have 6 games left. They need 11 points to win the Eredivisie. That is 3 wins and 2 draws, and that is it. That will be a massive trophy for 3 Americans.
That's still a lot.
They have been cruising, I know, but this is it. We are inching closer, and we are also at the business end of this season, and I'm going to bring up some stuff as well. So this is going to be interesting. Next, another one who has scored a goal and needed to score some goals. Folarin Balogun, 2 goals for Monaco. He is trying to get right before Copa, and Monaco is holding on to the last Champions League spots in Ligue 1 right now in France. That would be an amazing thing to do, as Balogun wants to take that next step. Champions League is exactly where you do that. Next, and we talked about him a little on the show previously, his first start for Bournemouth, Tyler Adams, no goal, no assist, but what does he do? He gets a man-of-the-match performance, looking really, really good, coming back in his old form. It is amazing to watch that man at his top level.
Started with the 45 minutes or the half hour, then the 45 minutes that he played for the United States men's national team, and that banger of a goal, Tyler Adams back in form. The key for Bournemouth continuing to have a strong finish to end their season, and the key for the United States men's national team as we get closer to Copa, keep rowing, big little bro.
Exactly. Next, someone who literally I'm pretty sure we bring up every week, Haji Wright.
Let's go, Haji.
Another goal, continues his insanely impressive, by the way, first season in the championship, 14 goals. He is Coventry is 1 spot below promotion playoffs. For those that don't know, for promotion in the championship, the first 2 teams automatically go up. The next 4 teams battle up playoffs for that 3rd spot. They are 2 points below the 6th place spot. Now, what is that team holding that next place spot? That would be Norwich City, home to our next entry in the list, Josh Sargent, as he has another goal, and he is tied with Haji with 14 goals on the season. That is going to be a massive couple games on the stretch to see who can make those playoffs.
The sun rises, the sun sets, Josh Sargent scores.
Exactly. So that is amazing. And finally, I have saved the best for last because it's been a while. But one of our Italians have scored. And Ken, you don't know which one this is, but if I ask you to say his name, I'm sure you can guess on who it is. Ken, who scored this week?
Muzio!
Exactly. He scored. Unfortunately, it was in a loss. But
doesn't matter.
They are currently 3rd in Serie B, so they are in the promotion playoffs.
Okay.
They are currently under 2nd place Como, who is home to Nicholas Gioacchini. as
GOT.
they look to go up. So we have plenty of playoff races to look forward to with the Americans. It is going to be a fantastic finish of the season in all of these leagues.
100%. You've got 3 Americans potentially winning a Eredivisie title. Okay, you've got 2 Americans battling to get into the Premier League in Haji and Josh Sargent, and 2 Italian Americans near and dear to my Italian American heart trying to battle to get back up into Serie A. I need both. I need all 4 to get up. That's what I need in my life, so we can have not just American abroad, but Americans EPL abroad and Serie A abroad. And I apologize for everyone's eardrums that I absolutely just blew out and speakers that I blew out screaming Busio. There was no mic check there. He just threw that lob over to me. I don't double check Americans abroad. I let bro just throw me stats and stuff like that. I watch my Americans, but I don't write them down. So I teed me up beautifully there. Well done, sir. What a scramble show at the beginning, but it ended up being
got it together.
Absolutely, we did. We rallied. I want to thank you all for joining us today. As always a pleasure to do this. Always appreciate you rocking with me and little bro on the 216 Sports Network. Speaking of the 216 Sports Network, you can find us on Facebook, like and follow us there. You can find us on YouTube, like and subscribe there. On the 216 Sports Network Facebook and YouTube page, you can find the rest of us. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, the Jay Rich Show, Ruler's Minute with Rico McGee, Outside Interference, and the Straub Bros Sports Show. The Straub Bros Sports Show. You can find us all over the place. But I want to give a big shout out this week to my guy Austin and his clothing apparel. Create Your Own Wave. You can follow them. Yeah. Create Your Own Wave 2021 on Instagram. Please do me a favor and go give that stuff a look. Go look first. Don't just take my word for it. Go give it a look, and then we can go from there. Also, while you're there, do me a favor. Go to cyowapparel.myshopify.com. That's where you can go and look at some of the Create Your Own Wave stuff, and you can see for yourself before you give it a follow. Like I said, I'm not greedy, okay? And thanks you, appreciate you, pops. Came together beautifully. But so that's where you find that. That's where you find things like this. But it's not just that. Straub Bros Sports Show. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS, on Twitter X at Straub Bros Sports, and you can find us on Spotify. Just search Straub. Literally, that's it. Just search Straub. You don't even have to put in all of the Straub Bros Sports, and you will find us there where you'll be able to rock with us all the way back to the beginning. You can check out all of our United States men's national team stuff, a couple of Footy Fridays, a couple episodes of Crunch Time, a couple episodes of Outside Interference, and all of our crossover specials with Rico McGee.
Yes.
Whew. Man, little bro, parting thoughts.
Yes, just to give a little bit of an update, Guardians are up 4-2, top of the 8th. Let's go Guardians. But since we're wrapping up the show, everyone have an amazing weekend. Just enjoy everything. And hey, wish Big Bro a happy birthday tomorrow. It's going to be great. Love you. And yeah.
Hey, I truly appreciate that. 35 years old tomorrow, 35 spins around this beautiful and glorious earth, 12 of which with you as my little brother, which was one of the best blessings of my life. Now 4.5 going on 5 as not just a big brother, as a dad. So I am blessed. I love all of you very, very much, and I love being able to do this. Somebody asked if I was going to do a pod on my birthday. Oh, no. That'll never make air, but this is just as close, and I really, truly appreciate it. I can't wait to see you next weekend for my birthday. And I want to give a shout out to this guy. I'm not going to end on a shout out for me. That's not how my show works. I got to give a shout out to this guy too, as he gets ready for graduation and also picked himself up a big boy job today as well. So big shout out to you, little bro, as well. Got to share the love on my birthday weekend. So little bro Andrew, big bro Ken, we love you. And as always, love